Race number 8 of the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series is going to be in full swing in 8 minutes time, and as we get into it, your most recent winner from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Michael Rosero, is on your screen. Welcoming every viewer here to the AlecDaffin48 200 at Charlotte. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz, as we get into these things. Practice, qualifying in the main event, a lot to cover as we get into it. Practice, we're still in it, and right now the 41 going to be 7th on the board. Got to thank every single viewer on the board, and it's going to be Cameron Racing, a driver, and Cameron Paris' account there on YouTube. Now the chat room, thank you for stopping by, as we've got a lot of great action coming tonight. Indianapolis and Charlotte Motor Speedway have one thing in common: their race date for the most prestigious event of their year. The Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 most often coincide on the very same day in the middle of May. But tonight, as we kick off April with a bang, it ain't no fooling. We'll see a great show from every driver on the board, and right now Rosero able to take it up to second of the charts. Eric Heater right now, he's thrown down quite a few heaters. 30.539, the fastest lap he's ran so far in the Alpha Tauri, number 28. 7 minutes of practice here, and it looks like this is going to be one of the first races of the season where second practice has been eliminated. It's going to be extra first practice, then qualifying, and then the main event. Now, if we get over 43 drivers, we will see a heat race between them, but as it stands, 28 are in the session. The most recent to join is the AlecDaffin machine, Nicholas Smith, right now also getting in, and it's going to be the 86 machine on the move, and he is in the mix so far, and he's going to be on his way for the first time tonight. Fisher Studios, you want to check your DMs on Discord, I believe, because he gave you all the information on what's going on regarding the cameras, and we'll be sure to update that as the night goes on here. It looks like we'll be able to get that good to go, perhaps later on in the night. Everything should be good, as they hope to introduce driver cameras to the Stock Car Racing League, and tonight might be the night. Right now, Smith going to be 27th on the board. Eric Heater makes his way through, and he's being pulled along by the number 10 machine right in frame, and it's not going to be Mike Campbell. Tonight, the number 10 belongs to Lucas Lyons, and it looks like a thunderstorm you might hear in the background here, but these drivers have some thundering engines, and they're going to quite often overpopulate what's going on my microphone. And right now, barreling down the back, the number 10 of Lucas Lyons makes it so. Vinny Tigner right now going to be right in front of the Davis Lewis machine, and 17th on the board he goes, with now 5 minutes and 38 seconds remaining here in practice. We'll get a weather update in studios in just a few moments. We've got someone outside right now checking in on it, and we'll be sure to let you all know if we're going to be able to go good to go from here on out. A little bit larger and a bit louder than what we anticipated, but we should be good to stream the whole way. Eric Heater going to round the back this time around. He's got the number 10 machine in tow with him, and Garrett Fitton in the number 7 machine, not in frame right now, 12th on the board. Cody Webster in that bright number 91 machine. You saw it on the thumbnail for tonight's event, a beautiful Mountain Dew machine. He's going to round out your top 10 with Talon Drake right behind him on pit row, right in front of him in timing. Barrett Flo, the number 93 machine, he's gotten into this series a bit of the halfway point. From here, of course, the debut at Daytona for every driver. He came in at about the All-Star break, and he's been going ever since. Barrett Flo right now running very strong in that top 10. A respectable run so far in practice. We'll see whether or not it's able to translate throughout the entirety of this event. Brian Russo, though, going to be top of the board now in terms of those outside of the top 5. Above it, he's going to be 4th on the board. He's 24 thousandths off of your overall leader for now, as Jordan Kuntz going to be right there in 3rd. Michael Rosero is going to be in 2nd. Eric Heater has consistently laid down the fastest laps, but right now he looks to be in a bit of a long run here. He's been going for 40 laps overall, but I'm certain he hasn't gone that long in this individual run. His last lap by was a 32.375, and he's getting passed easily by Carter Casey down to the inside. Tire wear at Charlotte is a crucial factor when it comes down to how tonight's will, of course, see itself play out. The events, they're all going to be determined on strategy. We get this thing going for a long green flag run. Drivers barreling down into turns 1 and 2, and as you can see, Eric Heater right now, one of the slowest men on the track, even though he is the fastest lap in practice, and one driver going to skid right to him, and that is going to be a Shaw Racing machine. Which one? It looks like it's going to be perhaps the number 48 of AlecDaffin, and that it is. Daffin makes it by, and so does Barrett Flo, and right now they're both on new tires. Daffin going to be 19th on the board, as is. He has that Shaw Racing number 48 just inside the top 20. Makes it down around that time by. Not going to be able to improve. 30.828. His last lap through here in practice, 3 minutes before qualifying gets underway, and from there 5 more until the main event gets gridded up, and we'll be able to grab a gear in just a few moments thereafter. And with a total of 3 minutes here on the board, you can see it's going to be the number 05 machine, no, the 85 right behind him, and that is going to be Robert King. Let's take a look on board the number 85 W Energy machine. Able to make it by down on the inside line here, and you can see taking it all the way up, and we will see that Robert King gets it almost to the seam and tries to get it onto the pavement. Going to wash a bit high though, as a result, does not make contact. But it is going to be Robert King with some of the most practiced lap time already. Christian Mullen has taken 92 laps, but Robert King coming runner-up so far in terms of laps taken. He's had 59 at the moment. However, he's still in position number 26 on the board out of a total of 28. So while that practice will make perfect if he gets a swing of it, momentum, shall we say, going on, so far the number 85 struggling just a bit, and we'll get your 65 camera up in just a few moments as well. Qualifying going to begin very shortly, and it looks like we'll be able to get something going when it comes down to cameras and the interview systems, and that's what we love to see. Going to get a copy on Jordan Parker for the remainder of the night. 1 minute and 58 seconds remain here, and the Eric Heater machine is on the top of the board. Now give us just a few moments as we get things going when it comes to the onboard shots. As you can see, the number 28 for Alpha Tauri powers through once again, and he's going to be top of the board for quite a long while, and it might be an indomitable run for him so far. Indomitability characterized by one man and one man only. Eric Heater, the top of the board. Jordan Kuhn's going to be third right now, and Carter Casey going to be in fourth as Brian Russo is in position number 5. Davis Lewis is still on the circuit right now, and he's going to get involved with quite a bit of an incident there, as we are seeing some sparks fly, not only in the real world there, but of course in the virtual world, as we are seeing some real intense racing already in practice. Barrett Flo going to be in that number 93 machine for tonight's event. He's currently just outside of your top 5 in the 8th position, so far doing very well, and he's going to continue to go with his own flow and put down some solid laps. Consistency, it's always key in the Stock Car Racing League, and while you might not be the fastest guy race in, race out, you have the opportunity to prove yourself whenever, of course, there is a race. 8 races into the season when we get down to this one, and Derek Vinton now going to be in the top 10. You see him on the circuit for the first time, inspired by Spire Motorsports in their number 7. He's now right behind a spinning machine that's going to be 96, and I believe that's going to be Kyle Jackson getting right into him as practice going to come to a close in half a minute's time. Going to be 26 seconds on the board as Michael Rosero gets involved in an incident once again there, and these drivers pushing themselves above the limit. They know this is the only time you can do that without any repercussion. In qualifying, it might not ruin your race, but you certainly will be at a disadvantage to get it started. When it comes down to the race, forget about it. No faster pairs in this league. It's do or die, no matter when you are on the track, lap run, or the final lap, anything in between, that first and final, you want to be on it no matter what. Our camera system is integrated for the night's event, and we'll be good to go as Eric Heater is the top man on the board here in practice. Let's get on to qualifying uninterrupted and live on FTN. Doing it once again, this is the AlecDaffin48 200 from Charlotte. As we get things on our way, let's see who goes onto the track for the first time, of course, in qualifying at Charlotte, and who will be out first. It looks like the number 9 machine, and that's a familiar figure with a new team. The number 9 machine, owner of the 4-0 Cup Series, Joaquin Stewart, and that's what we always give him that nickname, Joaquin. It's Joaquin Stewart on the move right now for Shaw Racing. Love to see cross-league action and making his way from the next gens of the 4-0 Cup Series on Wednesday nights all the way to, of course, the Truck Series here in the Stock Car Racing League. Joaquin Stewart making his way down the backstretch as Christian Mullen is going to be in the number 75 W machine himself, and he is looking to take the dub for his own. Timothy Peters, a new face in this league, the number 83 machine, looking to get into a groove of truck success. The number 83 machine, one of the men to watch tonight, Corey Rexford on pit road as Sam Benson rounding the final turns this time around. Through turn 4, it's going to be Jordan Parker, the first man through here in qualifying. We are underway, and this is going to be our first time lap, led off by the 65 in this session. And taking a look at the number 65 machine, this is his in-car camera. This is the real perspective from, of course, the virtual world to the physical world. This is the number 65 of Jordan Parker. As you can see, the handwork there, very minute, very patient so far as he goes through time and time again. Let's look at the in-car camera or just on-car camera. As you can see, very little hand movement. Every single motion has to be as precise as it can get. And he is continuing to keep himself in motion. You can see he actually reaches out from his steering wheel down the back, looks to have adjusted a setting or so, and now running it way up high. He's currently going to be 11th on the board and powering down this time around. Gets a great run off the exit, and the number 65 machine of Jordan Parker looking to make it so, and he's going to go all the way up and steal the show. It looks like, however, not going to be able to get much further than 11 improvement nonetheless. And Carter Casey now top man on the board in his first lap. The number 1 machine is an awful lot of pace so far. We'll see how long he's able to keep that up because it looks like he might just be the fastest man tonight. Carter Casey down the line once again, no improvement as Michael Rosero takes it 51 thousandths away from the pole position. Eric Heater throws one up once again, but not going to be enough. He's 77 thousandths of a second off of the pole position himself. Cody Webster going to be in the 4th spot now. Gets by Eric Heater. Connor James is going to be in 6th, and Sam Benson going to be in that number 12 machine, 7th on the board as a second wave of drivers go through in their qualifying session. And these drivers include Brian Russo, Davis Lewis, Jordan Kuntz, Rick Spencer Walt, Vinny Tigner, and Luke Peters. That time by Brian Russo, able to take it up at the 15th spot on the board. Not bad at all, but of course room for improvement. Garrett Vinton going to be there in now no time spot. He'll be in 21st effectively as Michael Deitch takes it up into 20th. And Vinton now going to be able to make himself known just outside the top 15 in 16th. And Luke Peters is going to go into the 21st position. Brian Russo coming along for his final lap here. 2 laps of timed action for every driver. And Brian Russo makes it so, getting himself into position number 9. Not bad at all. Eric Heater still going to be on the track. He comes to pit road this time by. And Garrett Vinton going to be able to come across the stripe for his own run. And 17th spot for the number 7 machine coming across the stripe. Here we go again. Garrett Vinton going to be done with his qualifying run, and it will prove up to 16th. Luke Peters, though, it looks like it's going to be a major jump up. He'll go up to 8th from 21st, and Rick Spencer Walt going to stay in 22nd. Lucas Lyons going to be in that number 10 machine, and at the moment, no time lap for him. Davis Lewis's first time lap was invalidated, but now he jumps right up into 11th, and he's now going to go on to his second time lap. It looks like he was a bit late to qualify himself in on that lap alone, just outside the top 10 on lap number 1, but he is not improving so far. 1/10 off his all-time best in this session, and that's his one and only other lap that he ran, so it looks like he might not be able to jump up just a bit higher. Coming across the line now he has about a 1/10 of a second advantage down to the apex of the front straightaway. Could it be improvement? It looks like for Davis Lewis, it might just be enough to go into 6th. Not bad at all. Able to make it count when it, of course, mattered the most. Jordan Kuntz from 21st on his first lap. What can he do this time by? 4/10 faster. Coming across the stripe at 174 miles an hour, Jordan Kuntz takes it up to 2nd, 15 thousandths off of your pole position. Lucas Lyons now going to be across the line himself. He'll go up into 19th, and that will be all she wrote in qualifying. No other driver able to make a timed lap happen before we, of course, get into the grid. So we'll get your starting grid up in just a moment. Jordan Kuntz, oh so close, had a magnificent second lap, but it's just not going to be enough to make it happen for the number 00 camp. One driver who gets it done, though, is going to man with that number 1 on the side of his truck, and tonight he'll be starting this one off in the best position for any driver, and that will be the pole position. Let's get right into your starting grid for tonight's event, and without further ado, this will be your starting grid for the AlecDaffin48 200 at Charlotte. The man at the top of the board is the number 1 position in number, and of course in that spot, 30.351 is not going to be the time, but it's a 5.31 for Carter Casey, first on the board right beside Jordan Kuntz. 15 thousandths off the 00 is, and he will be starting in position number 2. From there on out, Michael Rosero going to be in 3rd with a 30.582, and Alec Daffin 1/100th of a second off with a 30.592 starts in 4th. Cody Webster going to be in 5th, 30.603, and outside of row number 3 going to be Eric Heater, the number 28 machine, with a 30.608. Then Davis Lewis Going to be 3,000th of a second off of Heater. He'll have a 30.611 right beside Connor James, 30.619 for a silent driver so far in this session, but he certainly has an awful lot of pace. We'll see if he can evaluate and improve upon it as night goes on. Sam Benson, 12th in that number 9 in position, 620 in the decimal mark, 30.62 for the number 9 machine in position. 10th position goes to Luke Peters, 4/100ths of a second, no thousandth of a second off, and the number 4 machine rounds out your top 10 outside of row number 5. Then it's going to be Barrett Flo at 11 with 30.625. Brian Russo in 12th with a 30.639. And Talon Drake, number 70 machine, going to have a 30.643 in position number 13. Brendan Timon going to have a 30.655. He's going to be in 14th. And rounding at your top 5, Vinny Tigner, 663 for him and a 668 for Timothy Peters, who goes right beside him outside row number 8. From there on out, it's going to be Cody McGorka with a 30.674. Corey Rexford, 699. And then Lucas Lyons crosses over to the 0.7 threshold, 30.769 for the man in 19th, and then a 30.775 for the man in 20th. That's Garrett Fitton in the number 7. From there on out, it's going to be Joaquin Stewart, and he's going to be right there in the action. The 784 mark, he hits it 21st for his first start in this series. Christian Mullen, 30.827 for the number 75 machine. Jordan Parker going to be 23rd with a 30.971, and 24th will be Robert King with a 30.974. Rick Spencer Walt going to be 25th on the board, number 97, 31.085, and the final driver to take a time lap will be Michael Deitch with a 31.160. William Schmidt and Nicholas Smith, 27th to 28th, will not have time laps on the board, and that will be it. A field of 28, and that's your starting grid for tonight's event, the AlecDaffin 200 at Charlotte. And the AlecDaffin48 sponsorship, a great addition to the lineup here in the Stock Car Racing League. Got to thank all our premier partners in, of course, B3 Designs, Fisher Studios, and AlecDaffin48, the man himself. And Alec Daffin, a great driver, competitor, and now a great ambassador for this league. And that is, of course, what you love to see. Great to have him alongside us for the remainder of the season as a primary partner. And as we get into this time by, we'll go racing. However, so far, no driver has grabbed a gear just yet, and we'll see whether or not they choose to. This time around, of course, they'll have to. But as it stands, waiting for 1 or 2 more drivers to hit the grid, and we should be good to go racing in just a moment. Carter Casey right there. The iRacing official pace car has not moved, but now Jordan Kuntz is moving, and he has the first sign of life so far in Charlotte. 134 laps to get it done, and it's going to be led off by the number 1 machine, and Jordan Kuntz going to be there in a second. Now, as we have just a moment to get this one going, let's talk strategy. Almost halfway into our championship hunt here is going to be your point standings going into tonight's event, and as you can see, guys like Jordan Kuntz are safe for the remainder of the season. As it is, Kuntz going to be locked into the playoffs. So is Michael Rosero and Lane Graves. Then it's going to be Cody Webster and Eric Heater. But guys like Josh Coloni, Cameron Perez, and Kyle Jackson are on the bubble. Corey Rexford is as well. You'll have to think smart and think long, as Charlotte is one of those tracks that has enduring long runs that very few drivers can master. And if you can master them, you might be on a first-class trip to a much better points race. If not, you might be on a first-class trip to disaster. That we will see. For some, others might have their lucky day in one of the cathedrals of speed, the intermediate circuit in NASCAR, Charlotte, North Carolina, Concord, North Carolina, the home of NASCAR itself. And here, these Truck Series machines, ready to rip, no matter if they're bow ties, blue ovals, or the silver ovals of Toyota. It doesn't matter what you come from. It matters that you're here now, and it ain't about where you start, it's about where you finish. One driver, Carter Casey, hopes to finish where he started as the iRacing official pace car takes it down this time around. We'll let it go for 1 lap, uninterrupted audio. Let's get right into this. Carter Casey and Jordan Kuntz lead him in the AlecDaffin48 200 here in Charlotte. One lap in, one caution, and we have a big wreck in the back of the field. Multiple drivers involved. Jordan Parker going to be there. Christian Mullen. Motors are blowing, and now we see multiple drivers come down pit road immediately. Let's find out just what happened. An instant replay on the matter here in the back of the pack. We're going to be looking at the man in that number 75 machine in Christian Mullen. Let's take a look, see what just happened as Mullen goes down, and it looks like big netco with William Schmidt, and then it's going to be Jordan Parker who starts it, and the 75 machine looks to have caught the rear end of William Schmidt. Schmidt comes right up there, and the 79 catches the number 75. The 65 gets by after the original incident, but not without even more damage. Multiple drivers in a big fiasco just to get this one kicked off with an incident. Not the greatest start for some of these guys, as it looks like motors have already blown. Christian Mullen almost done for the night on the very beginning of lap, and now the opener not good for him. The 65 going to be down on pit road as well, and it's going to be Jordan Kuntz out in front in first. Michael Rosero going to be there in second, and Carter Casey rounds out your, of course, temporary podium before we get things going and the race gets back in motion. It's going to be your man out in front, Jordan Kuntz, who got a dominating restart, and that command was momentous. He got it done through the first half lap and held on all the way to the caution cycle, as NASCAR does use scoring loops most often to indicate when there is a yellow flag. And who should be the leader? iRacing, using that similar formula, in fact that same formula, and the very same formula leads the man in that number 00 being the man out in front. As we get back into it in just a few laps time, drivers already going to be on pit road. Of course, that includes the man in that 00, Jordan Kuntz, going to be there for the taking, and it's going to be Jordan Parker, Christian Mullen, and William Schmidt already one lap down, getting major damage repaired already, and kicking this one off with a bit of a hectic shuffle in the back of the field. The front, not so much. The 00, powered by Nitro, used it to get himself out in front. It looked like he was on the turbocharger there, but nonetheless fixed setups, and he's just a man who gets it done on the restart, and it could be the one that matters. 3 laps in out of 134. That, of course, remains to be seen, as a lot of the strategy that we will see all night long has yet to be determined. Will anyone go into pit road this time? I highly doubt the prospect of just that. As you could see, nobody could have come in except for, it looks like, the Cody Webster machine, that number 91, looking to play the long game here as he comes in without much additional support. That was about a 1-lap run at the very most, so we'll see if that matters at the tail end of it. Michael Deitch blinks out just a bit. Nicholas Smith going to be in that number 86, right behind Garrett Vinton, and the only man looking to come down was, well, the number 91 machine, and it looks like that's going to be a drive-through until he gets through to his pit stall. He'll be in, he'll be 18th at the moment, and he'll be falling down much further, now down to the 25th and last on the lead lap. Cody McCorkle already taking one pit stop of his own, the 02 machine, waiting right now, it looks like, for the number 91 machine of Cody Webster. He's going to be caught up right there on the exit of the pit stop, and that's why the camera was not shifting at all, as McCorkle right there getting closer and closer to the field. And as it stands, we're double file already. We'll be getting ready to go back green, this time by a bit of a shortened yellow flag before the race gets going. And Jordan Kuntz will lead them out once again, trying to settle the score. It's the 00, looking for just a bit more than the lead. He's looking for the victory here in Charlotte. And Michael Rosero looking to keep him honest as the night goes on. And with the iRacing official pace car back out for the first time tonight, the first yellow flag coming out very early. And as we've seen in races beforehand in this league, it might be a bit hectic early, but these guys always find their groove by the middle of the event, and that's when it gets real intense. Strategy becomes the main factor, but right now, the strategy, get away and get away fast for the 00 machine. Let's get right back into it. This time around, Jordan Kuntz leads Michael Rosero now, 2 former winners this season, out in front. Green flags out for the Jordan Kuntz machine. And just a start that Jordan Kuntz was hoping for once again. Michael Rosero going to be in second now, and Carter Casey going to be in third, as AlecDaffin now fighting side by side with Eric Heater. Davis Lewis going to be in the 6th spot right now. As you can see, double file action already beginning to show itself very early in the run here, and it's going to be Eric Heater who has to subside down to the inside line, and he's going to have to concede that battle for now. AlecDaffin gets it done in 4th, but Eric Heater looking for just a bit more as the night goes on. And it's going to be Connor James there in 7th, Luke Peters in 8th, Sam Benson in 9th, and Brian Russo going to be in that number 3 machine. And Brandon Timon looking to try for more. No, it's going to be much worse than that. Timon going to go right up into the wall, going to collect Talon Drake. The yellow flag's out. Multiple drivers involved, and Talon Drake going to be collected in tow. The 70 machine and the 34 going to be a big factors. Both of them are. Joaquin Stewart's going to be disconnected, and Joaquin out of the way here. It looks like a yellow flag once again, the second of the night. Let's find out just what happened as the number 34 machine, front and center, battling for positions, is involved in this one. And Brandon Timon in that 34 looks to have gotten a bit squirrely off the back. It looks like the 93 of Barrett Flow goes just a bit up, and Timon goes low. They make contact and then go right into one another. And the 34, trying to correct it, goes right in front of Talon Drake and collects Drake immediately thereafter. Talon Drake, 23rd on the board now, going to go head on to the wall, and that's a nasty hit. Collects the 97 of Rick Spencer Walt there, and Walt going to be involved, and it's going to be big, bad news for 3 drivers there. The 70 machine is not blown a motor, granted, but the number 34 might have the worst prospects out of that one. Side damage major. The front end does not seem to show all too much, and we'll take a look at a close-up drone shot. Not much on the rear end as well, so not all too bad news, but certainly not the way these guys want to get it started. Yet another very short run, 8 laps in to 134 of racing action, and Michael Rosero going to hold on out in front with Jordan Kuntz in 2nd and Carter Casey in 3rd with AlecDaffin holding on himself in position number 4. 8 laps in, 2 cautions in, and these drivers getting a bit antsy already, and it looks like Charlotte getting the better of them so far, as the night is very, very young in Fisher Studios. It looks like the night going to be, of course, a day session in iRacing. Quite frankly, I was a little bit shocked to see that. Most often, when you see a long race at Charlotte, it's going to be day tonight. We've seen that before on FTN. The Highline Racing League had a 210-mile event here. The 4-0 Cup Series had it, of course, very, very infamous event this season at Charlotte. Had about 30-odd guys show up there. It was a race of attrition tonight, turning into a race of attrition in its own right here as a number 41 holds on in front of the field. Jordan Kuntz going to be there in 2nd. And then it's going to be the 00 in Jordan Kuntz, of course, with Carter Casey in 3rd. 4th position going to be AlecDaffin. Eric Heater going to be in the number 5th spot. Davis Lewis holds on strong in 6th. And Connor James right there in 7th. And Luke Peters and Sam Benson go side by side, double file, as they look to anticipate yet another restart. That restart is going to be in just a lap or so's time as Michael Rosero holds on strong out in front. 8 laps in out of 134 live on FTN. If you enjoy the action, please make sure to like this stream and make sure that you subscribe to the channel for all FTN action in future events. Of course, the Stock Car Racing League, every race this season broadcasted live on FTN. You don't want to miss a thing, so it's free and it gives you access to the chat room all night long. Be sure to leave a subscription on the channel for unlimited access to the chat, and we would love to hear what you have to say. So if you have anything for us, well, let us know, and we'd love to hear it. Have you there in active participation with the stream? It's always the best thing that we have. Feedback makes it all work out, as right now, number 41 machine has not had much feedback to rely on. The reason is he's been out in front regardless of anyone else's action. He's out there by a long shot, 9 laps in out of 134. He's got him beat so far, as they will be going double file this time, if not the next time by, as it looks like Talon Drake retired, Rick Spencer Walt retired, Brendan Timon retired as well, Christian Mullen down and out of his car, and it's going to be Joaquin Stewart, as we mentioned beforehand, down and out in tow. Jordan Parker now getting back out of the circuit, and it looks like of the drivers involved in those incidents before, he's the first of which to go out on the track. William Schmidt still waiting to get everything figured out, and the 41 machine for Mobile One leads them in position number 1 nonetheless. 2 cautions into this event, 9 laps in. We've all got an awful lot of racing that we hope to see as the night goes on. Just gotten things started, so as we get into it this time by 1 lap to green, led by the 41 and the 00 there as well. Carter Casey going to be in 3rd, and AlecDaffin going to be in 4th, with Eric Heater rounding at your top 5, and Davis Lewis there in 6th. 1 lap to green this time by here in Charlotte. This is the AlecDaffin48 200 here, of course, in the 1.5 mile circuit, Charlotte Motor Speedway. And this intermediate circuit has seen its fair share of modifications to the track, a track where diamond grading was tested to try to get more intense racing. It ended up with a Wreckfest in 2005 in the Coke 600, and now a more traditional format when it comes to the track preparation has been used. Not the notorious PJ1 in excess like Texas, not as much resin as we see in other circuits nowadays like New Hampshire. A more traditional way of going about it here in Charlotte. And Charlotte, it's big tradition, the longest race on the NASCAR schedule, and this is one of the longest races we will see all season long here in, of course, the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series. And so far, it's been a bit of an endurance race here for the man at a 41, having to endure caution after caution to get this one kicked off. A lot of time for him to get the victory, and so far, he has it going quite well. 41 machine going to be out in front. Jordan Kuntz going to be in second. Carter Casey there in third. Let's get right back into it. Once again, led by the number 41 of Michael Rosera. Blue Oval is going to be the top two. Then it will be two Chevys, the bow ties right behind. And your highest position Toyota is the number 28 machine. And Eric Heater at the moment there in that number 28. Restart number 2 of the night. Let's get right back into it. Lap 10 is going to be exiting, and lap 10 will enter us into restart number 2. Let's go once again. And the biggest start that the man in the 41 machine has gotten all night long just came there. And then Jordan Kuntz going to be about a quarter of a second off. And AlecDaffin going to be right there in third as they go side by side once again. Carter Casey going to be down to the inside line on Eric Heater. And AlecDaffin washes up high just a bit. Eric Heater going to have to give him just a bit of time there. And he's going to consolidate that position for just a moment. It's going to be consolation though as he goes up high there on the man in that number 1 machine. The 41 has his teammate now in the mix. That's the 4 machine of Luke Peters. Peters trying to get into the top 5 to battle with his teammate out in front. However, the leader's got a great jump, and now the good majority of the field is single file aggression, going to be much less as Talladega gets it back moving 4 laps down. Jared Veaton going to be fighting with Cody McCorkle, and McCorkle trying to get back with him as Nicholas Smith holds on at 19. Timothy Peters going to be there in position number 13 as Barrett Flo is now on the back bumper of Sam Benson, and the aggression is at an all-time high in the mid-pack right now as it's going to be a bit of a move up high for the 93 machine as he chases down and hopes to pass the man out in front of him. That's going to be Sam Benson in the 11 trying to take him down to 12 in that 12 machine. What can he do this time by? It looks like go down there. Might have to force him up high, and that's going to be, of course, not where you want to be so far. A good majority of the field going down to the inside line every turn, and it will be a bit of a harder battle to fight for the man in that number 12 as they go double file at the line. Barrett Flo gets it, and we'll look out front once again. Closest battle in the top 5 going to be for that 5th spot, and it's going to be now for 4th as it's going to be Luke Peters making his way right by Carter Casey there. And Peters has the same strategy when it comes to speed as his teammate does. And now he's going to be hounding the man in that number 48 machine in AlecDaffin. And you can see out in front the number 48 chasing down the 00. But now the 4 machine chases down the remainder of the field, including the man who sponsors this event. And with the sponsorship from AlecDaffin for tonight's event and the remainder of the season, we thank him greatly for his participation in this season as the advertisement placing on that truck is second to none. Right now, the Shaw Racing 48 going to fight the Blue Ovals. It's going to be Chevy on Ford battling for third as out in front. The Fords hold on strong. Jordan Kuntz and Michael Rosero 15 laps in out of 134. Robert King now going to be battling with the man in that number 10 machine. That's going to be Lucas Lyons. And right now, Lyons is putting on a fight that's not going to be defending like a lion, but instead putting down that offense and giving him a run for his money time after time. He goes inside, he goes outside, and tries to make something happen. And that time by, the number 10 has to go high. Robert King now going to be passed. It looks like despite being on the inoptimal line, Robert King is going to lose that spot to Lucas Lyons. And Lyons gets into 15th as Garrett Veaton with a newer set of tires, about 11 laps newer, is now hauling in on the remainder of the field, putting down great laps time after time. 16 in out of 134. How about that? Talon Drake going to be in position number 22. Jordan Parker going to be in 23rd on pit road. But Drake 5 laps down, still going as Cody McCorkle comes down to pit road. This time around, Michael Rosero going to be out in front nonetheless as the closest battle on the circuit now going to be within the top 5. Look at him go. It's going to be the man in that number 4. It's going to be Luke Peters going down to the inside on AlecDaffin. And these two drivers pushing at wit's end. The aggression, it's going to be higher here than any other segment of the circuit. How about this? Down to the inside. Peters tries to make it happen. No, he does not make it happen, though. AlecDaffin stays there for just a moment. Although he is in third for now, it might not last as 18 laps in. The field has separated, and the strategy going to be all about holding on to what you got, as the number 48 machine holds on quite nicely to what he has here, and what he has is a great truck for the remainder of this event, so long as he keeps it in good shape. Right now, no damage on any of the top 5 machines in their trucks, but drivers in the back of the field say the 65 machine who is still driving, say Talon Drake, say William Schmidt, when he gets back on the track, these guys have major damage, and while they do want to race, and they want to race badly right now, their trucks are not in good condition to battle for any spot later on the going, as it's going to be Michael Rosero not having to battle all night long. He has kept himself out in front with marginal room for error. That 48 machine going to be first on the board with Jordan Kuntz there in second. AlecDaffin going to be in third. Luke Peters going to be in fourth, and Carter Casey rounds out your top 5. Now facing pressure once again from Eric Heater, and right behind him going to be Davis Lewis and Connor James going out down to the inside line. James going to go, and Davis Lewis able to block him nicely, but the battle is far from over here in Charlotte. And now the 16 machine has to think about what the next move is going to be. One driver gets in the wall big time. That's Carter Casey going to give Eric Heater a run for his money once again. And this time, the run up the track will be a very good thing for the man in the number 28 machine, as Carter Casey goes a bit way too high. And for his sake, thankfully for the number 1, it looks like it was not going to be all too much damage if it was any. But Eric Heater, time after time, getting quicker and quicker. That time by, he runs down a 31.691, now within 200th of a second of the number 1 machine, lap after lap, and the pace between these guys just outside the top 5 just about equals here, as that number 48 machine is the man who divides the top 2 from the remainder of the field. One gets in the wall once again, and single file they are for the most part, but Davis Lewis goes down to the inside on Eric Heater. Look at him go. The number 28 machine going to be in big trouble, as the 5 there on your screen going to be the 43 on timing and scoring, makes it happen right up top. The 16, though, for Beat Free Designs, keeps himself right in the mix, and he will be content for now as he gets that spot on the Eric Heater machine. And Davis Lewis having one of his better runs so far tonight. It's been a great show put on by him, currently right outside of your top 5 in that 6th position. And Carter Casey there in 5th, the room to improve. It is right in front of him. He might want to take that room, as that time by, he was just about a 10th of a second faster, if not a little bit more than that. And it is showing that time after time, Davis Lewis might be one of the best drivers who saves tires, because Carter Casey on the same set is beginning to wear them out. He goes up high once again. See, it's going to be a sign of changing times, and this time the change of position going to be for 5th. Davis Lewis gets by on Carter Casey, and now Carter Casey has a bit of a rabbit hole to dig himself out of, as the number 99 machine of Vinny Tigger going to follow him right through, and the 99 and 1 side by side, and it's 100% a battle you'd love to see, and it looks like right now you've seen it, as the number 99 gets that run. He's got the 16 keeping him right in front, and he's going to be able to get by nice and smooth. A steady position gain for the number 99, and the decrease for the number 1 machine is going to be major, as Connor James now going to fight side by side with the number 28 machine, Eric Heater, and Barrett Flo rounds out your top 10, as he is watching this right behind, not in the sidelines at all, looking on board with the number 93 machine of Barrett Flo, and you can see that number 43 in timing and scoring, that is going to be Connor James, slowly but surely reeling in Eric Heater, but now down to the inside line. Barrett Flo shows that he is not going to have any remorse. Does let off just a bit, but not enough to lose that momentum, and he's going to keep it in his back pocket for later reference. And looks like that future reference is going to be here and now, down through turns 1 and 2. Every driver gets onto the paint once again. So far, though, single file, waiting for something to happen, as the double file battles are continuing. Just pop in sporadically. Carter Casey, though, going to be able to save it. Yes, he is, but he's going to lose another set of spots, and the number 93 machine going to be able to get right by him, and that was a great camera angle provided by the number 93 of Barrett Flo, as Carter Casey falls down into 11th. A fantastic save, but of course not what he wanted, as now he's battling in the mid-pack, losing more and more time as we speak. Out Out in front once again, Michael Rosero holds on strong. He's got about a tenth of a half ahead of Jordan Coots in that double zero. And so far, the double zero, knowing that what he wants to get done is, of course, get another victory in the season. Rosero has 2, and Jordan Coots looking to add to his tally to get right above him, and usurping Michael Rosero. As of recent, he's been about the best man in this field week after week, winning at Indianapolis on perfect strategy, and Milwaukee, another great race for him. Calculation is key, and Michael Rosero seems to know it like no other driver. But right now, one driver going to be going right down to his inside line. That's Jordan Coots. Look at him go. It's going to be the number 00 machine down to the inside line, and he has it this time by not clear though, and they'll be side by side. The 4100R down to the line once again. Jordan Coots has the 41 right with them, and Rosero keeps himself in check, but it's not going to be checkmate just yet, as Jordan Coots hopes to get him to checkmate. He's clear. Not yet at all. It's going to be side by side down to turns 1 and 2. Once again, Rosero gets that push on the high side. It's going to be big momentum riding that seam. Jordan Coots chooses to ride the paint, and side by side, AlecDaffin is loving every second of it, as if these guys mess up and make contact with one another, it will be game over, and it'll be game on for Alec, as he's right behind him. That happened in Indianapolis between 2 of the leading drivers with very little time left to go. Netcode, and they made major contact, and that ended their night immediately. Now, cutting every single inch of the track, Jordan Coots goes all the way down to the inside line of the front stretch, and Michael Rosero using the line of least resistance to counteract him. That time by the 41 has the edge to 00, going to be able to stay right with them, and that's going to be the blue ovals battling out in front, and they are losing more and more time to AlecDaffin. That time by Daffin about a tenth of a second faster, and he continues to gain. Now it looks like the 00 might have the clearance on him. Will it stick this time around? It looks like it does. Jordan Coots gets it done, new race leader, and Michael Rosero holds on in tow. He'll be there in second, waiting for the time to be right to strike once again. Vinny Tigner right there with the number 16 machine of Davis Lewis, separated by less than a tenth of a second when we closed in on that battle with our cameras here. And now they're going to be just about a tenth of a second apart once again. The 99 goes down to the inside line on the 16 machine, and the 16 has to hold his head up high and hold his truck right up high. He gets a surge of momentum with the 99 machine to be able to go pro and make it happen. A move like a professional. The 99 tries to make it happen, and it looks like it's going to be a perfect emulation of Jordan Coots happening. It looks like it is, as they go down right by the Sunoco sign on pit exit, and the paint, he rides it, and that paint gives you an awful lot of grip as a driver here in these trucks. The trucks, one of the least aerodynamic machines in professional racing, and for some reason, and for some case, it's one of the greatest things we see in the NASCAR Truck Series. These are some very hard machines to drive, and right now, the 99 machine strives to keep himself in that battle. Davis Lewis had the edge that time around, but he's getting closer and closer time after time, using draft on the front and back stretch to make it happen, and that anticipation of a move keeps Davis Lewis on his toes, as now the 99 sees himself go down to the inside line once again. However, not going to be even close to side by side just yet. We'll see whether or not he'll be able to accumulate more time and more speed down the back, as AlecDaffin sees Luke Peter almost getting to the wall there, and Peter's going to be a bit of trouble as he now falls back about a tenth on AlecDaffin that time around. Daffin loses about 3/10 of a second since these guys up front were side by side. Jordan Coots leads the way with Michael Rosero in tow. Second spot, it's going to be Davis Lewis there in fifth. Then Vinny Tigner in sixth. The man in third is still AlecDaffin, and Luke Peters is going to be right between the battle in the podium and the battle for the top 5. He's still in fourth here, as Davis Lewis and Vinny Tigner continue to put on a show just in the middle of this top 10. Robert King going to be side by side with the man in that number 86. That's Nicholas Smith there. And as they go side by side, it looks like, no, that's going to be Michael Deitch in the 44. Nicholas Smith just in frame, but Michael Deitch looking to make his claim to fame here as he goes up to the high side, battling up and down the track. Seems to be throwing him on for a ride. However, he's right up there on the number 86. Let's take a little bit of a ride on board with the man in that number 44. This is On Board with Michael Deitch. And as you can see, that time by Michael Deitch, he'll be able to use that high line to his advantage going into turns 3 and 4. However, not enough momentum to make a pass. He sends that number 86 way wide, a major fake out, and it's going to be King coming right into him. They're going to make contact. They might get into a wreck here. Will they save it? It looks like they both do, and with less than 100 laps to go, we don't see yet another yellow. However, that could have been much, much worse, and now the number 85 absolutely not going to be happy with what just happened. We'll take a look back with the TV cameras here as the number 85 of Robert King sees himself get a bit of a tap there from Michael Deitch, and they get into one another. And now the 85, who went oh so high on the track, now loses a spot to the number 86, and he gets it going nonetheless, but he's going to be far out of contention from even those in the back of the lead lap. He's going to be now 19 seconds off of your leader. Connor James is going to be Garrett fighting right now. The battle of the field is going to be up, down, left, right, and now it's going to be a driver who's going to get spun. Will he save it? Yes, he does. It's going to be a number near wreck and another near miss as they're now going to get into each other once again. Garrett Vighton going to go down to the inside line. Is this a yellow flag in the making? It looks like it's going to be 7 who saves it, but no. Yellow flags out, and Robert King going to be on pit road as it looks like that was a retaliatory action, and we'll find out whether or not that was the case. Garrett Vighton going to be in a big time battle with a number 43. And you can see they get into one another, and Garrett Vighton going to go right around immediately thereafter. Less than 100 laps to go, and stealing the show. The back markers having an awful lot of trouble keeping that car straight. And now it's going to be yet another yellow, 37 laps in out of 134. Jordan Kuntz leads the show here, and it's going to be Michael Rosero there in second, with AlecDaffin in third, and Luke Peters rounding out your top 4. This time, Bob, if they choose to come down pit road, that option has always been available to them, but this has been the longest run we've seen all night long. It might just be time for these drivers to make their pit strategy shine, and we'll see as they come down to pit road this time by. Jordan Kuntz going to be able to lead, Michael Rosero in with the number 48 machine of AlecDaffin, and Luke Peters there as well, and they all come down pit road in unison. And the 00 of Jordan Kuntz looking to get 4 tires and fuel. I would believe at this point that is the end goal, as degradation had these guys running laps about 2 seconds slower than their all-time best. The best lap that Cody Webster put down was a 30.7. Last time by was a 32.8. So as these guys get their service in, let's see who comes out first. Carter Casey right there in frame with a bit of damage on his number 1 machine. That time by, though, it's going to be Davis Lewis beating out Jordan Kuntz. No, it's going to be Kuntz in head of Davis Lewis, then Michael Rosero, AlecDaffin, Luke Peters, Vinny Tinker, Brian Russo, Barrett Flo, and then Carter Casey in 9th and Eric Heater in 10th. And that's your pit road top 10. Jordan Kuntz leads the way in the 00. And a near miss there for Jordan Kuntz. He was side by side at the pit exit line with Davis Lewis, able to make it happen nonetheless, at a very close battle there. And it seems like at the end of it, the number 00 gets it done, stays in front. Jordan Kuntz leading the way with 1 lap machine right in front of him. That will be your number 85 machine of Robert King. And last time by, we see that it looks like Jordan Parker has disconnected from the session. We do have a total of just about 7 retirees on the night so far. Talon Drake looking to get a few laps back on his own right. Robert King 1 down. So is Connor James as he's coming down pit road, and he's came down pit road. And number 85 will get his lap back this time around. We'll see whether or not Talon Drake gets another as he catches up to the field. Once again, the 85 will be let loose once more. He's a 19th as is. The nearest man to him on the track is going to be Connor James. He passes him for position that time by. And now Garrett Vighton, 17th on the board, gets back on his way. Not a lot of damage despite that major contact. And he is going right at it. Davis Lewis going to be second on the board. Jordan Kuntz going to be top of the board, however. 39 in out of 134. And the 00 keeps himself in a tow with the pace car. Robert King has still not been sent out in front to get his lap back, waiting to the 1 lap to go signal, which we should get next time around. And 39 in out of 134. He keeps himself going. 17th on the board. Garrett Vighton still catching up to the field here as Sam Benson in 16th makes himself known now. He's got a bit of a hood pop in that PBG number 12, and taking a closer up shot with it, you could see big time damage on the front of the hood. Timothy Peters going to be Now, position number 14 in the 83, and while that is the 43 on your screen, the man debuting for WJM Motorsports is there in frame, just inside your top 15. Lucas Lyon's going to be in 11th, and Eric Heater going to be in 10th, with Carter Casey in 9th, Barrett Flo 8th, Ryan Russo going to be in 7th, Vinny Tigner in 6th, Luke Peters is in 5th, and Alec Daffin is in 4th, with Michael Rosero in 3rd, David Lewis 2nd, and most importantly for the leading battle, the man out in front, the man who's had a good majority of the way here, Jordan Kuntz, still leads, and he's got his most recent adversary for that battle there in 3rd. That's Michael Rosero in the number 41. And this time by 39 laps, going to become 40. Now, double file, once again, the iRacing official pace car, going to make it official. Next time we get going, it will be a green flag run, and hopefully going to be another long one like we saw beforehand. The longest one that we've seen was about 20 laps worth, as Robert King still one down. Garrett Veaton going to be on pit road now, getting a bit more damage repaired. Eric Heater in the similar boat, and Michael Deitch now the last man connected to your leading drivers. He's going to be in 15th after a near miss on his end of that number 44 machine. Timothy Peters right in front of him as the 00 and Jordan Kuntz makes himself known, and he's kept himself out in front without very much competition, and the competition for him right now has been the 41. The remainder of the field has been separated mostly by drivers such as Alec Daffin, as pace deficits at Charlotte have been noticeable. Tire degradation is a major factor, and right now these drivers, after about 2 seconds of degradation, having a bit of trouble keeping it under control. Let's see if they've gotten accustomed to it this time by acclimation to the tires. We've seen it now. We should be in store for a long run to get us going. It's going to be about 93 odd laps when we get back to it this time by. A bit more than that, as a matter of fact. At less than 100, we have passed that mark. Jordan Kuntz leads the way with Davis Lewis, Michael Rosero there in 3rd, and Alec Daffin in 4th. Let's get right back to it this time by. 3rd restart of the night, led by the 00 machine. Here we go once again. Lap 41 going to be underway, led by the 00. And the 00 of Jordan Kuntz getting another rocket launch there. One driver goes down to the inside line. That'll be Robert King, as Rosero already up to 2nd here. Lap number 41. He might want to lead it, but right now he's going to have to wait just a bit and hold back as a teammate of Luke Peters comes to join the party here. Teammates going to be sandwiched in between. Rosero, of course, there in the number 41. Peters going to be at 4th. They're sandwiched between Jordan Kuntz and Alec Daffin, as it's one going a bit higher. Michael Rosero goes a bit higher than his teammate and Luke Peters down to the apex. The 4 machine gets it, and now they're going to move him out of the way. Jordan Kuntz up to the high side here. He's got a bit of competition to work with. The 41 goes down to the inside line. Luke Peters chooses to join him at that time as they go side by side for the lead. 42 laps in of 134. They're double file down to the line once again, and a bit of momentum on the high side to carry him back through, but it looks like Rosero will get it down to the line just barely as Jordan Kuntz keeps himself honest there, and they'll be side by side once more. A battle between these two drivers far from unfamiliar. We saw them battle just about 20 laps ago, and they're back at it once again as the number 4 machine barreling down the backstretch has the number 00 right in front. Take a look on board with the man in that 00. This is the onboard of Jordan Kuntz. This is the front end, and this is what we want to focus on. This is the back end. As you can see, the number 4 machine right there, and the 41 right by the quarter panel. The number 41, of course, he's by himself, but now it was, of course, the Jordan Kuntz machine out in front, and now it is 00 machine going to be right there, about a 1/10 of a second ahead. Michael Rosero is in 2nd. Luke Peters going to be in 3rd. Now, Alec Daffin keeps himself in 4th. Let's take a look at the middle of the pack here. It's going to be Sam Benson and Garrett Veaton. And we are focusing on right now Timothy Peters going to be there with the number 16 and the number 3 machine, Lewis and Russo. Michael Deitch going to be in position number 16 himself. Dives it in way deep there and gets it just a bit squirrely with a great entry. Not the best exit, able to keep it going nonetheless. And we saw him pop just about a line up on where he was before. The number 44 Chevrolet Silverado keeps himself right there in that mostly silver number 44. And now another predominantly silver machine is out in front, as it looks like it's going to be about a 10-car separation up in front. It's going to be Eric Heater, last of those 10 out in the front of the field. Then Sam Benson going to be on his own in 11th. Garrett Veaton losing more and more time in 12th. Then, of course, Timothy Peters there in 13th. As it stands, only 17 drivers on the lead lap, last of which is Nicholas Smith, who dropped to the back on that restart, trying to gain more time as the night goes on. And it looks like so far he's been able to gain just a bit on Michael Deitch, as these final 4 in the lead lap are having just a bit of trouble keeping themselves at top pace. Jordan Kuhn's going to be out in front with Michael Rosero there in second. Luke Peters, of course, going to be in third. And right now, single file up in front. Once again, only 8 laps into this stint, and so far, the 00 has been able to command them so far indeed. However, the 41 and the 4 as teammates might be able to make something happen and work together to chain the 00 out of the way. We've seen it before, but at Charlotte, the inside line has appeared to be king thus far, and any driver outside of it has just not been able to make something happen. They've all fallen down to the wayside, and so far, the wayside is not what Jordan Kuntz wants to fall to. We saw beforehand Michael Rosero able to get by him on that low line. If you get displaced from it, you are certainly going to lose at least one position. However, Luke Peters, knowing right now his game is not to lose a position, it's of course to gain it. He has AlecDaffin all over him here in the AlecDaffin48 200, and it is, of course, the main sponsor of this event, driving the wheels off in that number 4 spot, and right inside the top 5 and right outside the podium. He's keeping it honest between those number 4 and the 41. The Blue Ovals in the middle of this equation. The 00, though, holds on out in front nonetheless. Eric Heater going to be 7th on the board here. He has a big battle right behind him. That's going to be Cody Webster and Carter Casey, the number 91 and the number 1, side by side through the front stretch down to the inside line. The Carter Casey machine able to make it so, and it's going to be Cody Webster who chooses to go up high, trying to get himself to battle back with more momentum. That momentum does persist and gets it by just about a spot or so. That time around, a major advantage off the back. Great job there for the 91 to keep himself in the 8th position as Carter Casey stays in 9th. Lucas Lyons, number 10 machine, going to round out your top 10 so far. And Garrett Featon right there in 11th, pretty far off of the top 10. He has a battle of his own right. That's Timothy Peters coming up right on him. The 83 machine going to go way up high there. And the number 7 struggling for pace all night long. It appears he might struggle just a bit more as he goes up high. The number 83 machine does. The number 7 of Eaton tries to hold on. That time by he does, but Peters has an awful lot of momentum and he's going to be able to use it once again. 50 laps in at 134. This race is getting on its way here, as we are starting to see laps go down and further down as these guys get into the groove once again. The leaders have not been in any worry when it comes to getting into the groove. Whenever we get a run, whether it is, of course, a lap long as we saw earlier on, or as long as we saw the run beforehand, these drivers have been prepared. But we are anticipating, of course, more and more green flag racing. The 41 has that 4 right behind him. AlecDaffin going to be in 4th, and Barrett Flo in the 5th spot. Has no pressure from Eric Heater just yet. He's in his own world right now, about a 3/10 of second deficit between him and AlecDaffin before. Now it is about a second or so, but he has a second up on the man under 28 himself. So a great advantage for the man in the 93, able to keep in tow with the leaders and not have to worry about those behind him. Learning more and more from the best in this field. The number 93 machine looking to make himself a better driver, and so far he's been able to use those tricks that he's learning right behind the best in the field to make himself better and better and better. That time by, he was in fact faster than AlecDaffin, so gaining slowly but surely. And this time down and around, we'll take a look at the statistics. The number 48 machine comes to the start-finish line first. A 6.35 for him compared to Barrett Flo's 31.612. Flo is faster, and he's getting closer and closer to those up in front, starting with AlecDaffin. And 53 laps in out of 134 so far. Jordan Kuntz able to steal the show. Michael Rosero getting closer and closer once again. Does he make a move that time by him? No, he does not. Does not have enough room to make a move. And as he goes down to the inside line and goes right up again, washing up high, every driver trying to get the most out of the apex, and with tire degradation now about a second's worth. The leaders having to manage their own pace as well as managing their own spatial awareness. If a driver in front of them does lose more time, you got to think what you do immediately. Do you, of course, get into them, try to rough them up and get right by, or do you try to make it clean and perhaps lose more speed of your own and make yourself a sitting duck? That remains to be seen, as so far these top 3 out in front have been able to keep it just about perfect. The number 4 goes up high, though, trying to adjust a bit of a different strategy, and now he comes down the back straightaway beforehand and comes to the front straightaway now with a head full of steam, and that time by a bit faster, but then breaking in a 20-mile-an-hour loss in speed. Not going to be much he gains, so maybe that experiment not going to be the success that he wanted. And look at the remainder of the field. Once again, this is the number 11 machine in position, the number 7 machine in your screen. Garrett Veton going to be right there with Timothy Peters. Peters gets up into 10th. Lucas Lyons going to be there in 9th now as Carter Casey tries to gain in on the man in that number 91 in Cody Webster. So far, the closest battle on the circuit going to be between Nicholas Smith and Michael Deitch. Smith getting slowly but surely now on the man in that 44, and with Michael Deitch having just a bit of damage, will take a closer up drone shot, and that number 44 gaining in slowly but surely for the HBR TV camp, and he's putting on a great show, worthy of being on TV right here as he goes down to the inside line, uses that paint just a bit. Deitch gets a much better middle way through, and he gets that exit, and the number 86 machine just could not get. Nicholas Smith gonna have to work on that as Deitch gets a major edge once more and goes up high, trying to keep himself in front of that spot. That he does. It looks like Deitch slipped up before, but won't anymore, as now the number 00 continues to have to worry about slipping up as the night goes on. Michael Rosero in that number 41, gonna be second on the board, trying to settle the score. Luke Peters gonna be in third. Alec Daffin is in fourth, and 19 laps into this run now, we're seeing some more spread out action as the number 10 machine in that number 10, of course, it's going to be Lucas Lyons. Chases down Carter Casey and getting closer and closer to the damage number 1. Your post hitter, not the best night for him so far. Started, of course, in first and has fallen down to 8th and is in jeopardy of losing one more spot here as the number 1 gonna fall prey to the man in 9th so far. The 1 and 10 to do battle here in Charlotte at 9 o'clock on the eastern coast, and certainly gonna be not the run that Carter Casey has wanted. The number 10 goes down to the inside line on him and gets it done. Now gonna be a battle not for the ages there. He gets it there in just a second. And every battle tonight has been just a bit more rapid fire than what we've seen all season long. Up to the high side of the circuit, Michael Rosero going to be there with Jordan Kuntz and keeping Kuntz honest. That's been his end goal as 59 in out of 134, coming closer and closer to the halfway marker here in Charlotte. You can see the top 2 drivers gaining on even the lap machines, as well as gaining time away from Luke Peters and Alec Daffin. Growing that gap, that's what you want to see. And a driver like Michael Rosero trying to push it as hard as he can, not only to get closer to Jordan Kuntz, but to make it so even if he does slip up in that battle for the lead, the driver can take the opportunity to get right through him and right by him, as so far the 41 goes down to the inside line once again, tries everything that paint to get a bit more grip, tries that grip. Does it work? It does stick, but not all too much, and he'll have to keep working on it as Luke Peters going to be in third, Alec Daffin will be in fourth, and Barrett Flo there in fifth. Keeps himself in that top 5, a nice run for him, but right now going to be losing a bit more time on Alec Daffin. That time by lost 19 thousandths of a second, and this time around he's going to lose about a half of a tenth. Not good for him. However, he still has a great buffer to Eric Heater, who ran a lap about a tenth of a second slower, so no worries for him as the top 5 are the closest 5 on the racetrack at this moment. However, Michael Deitch still going to be fighting side by side with Nicholas Smith. Smith that time by gets the edge, and he gets it big. Now Smith moves up into 12th. And as it stands, we have about 12 drivers retired from this event in the first 61 laps. 16 drivers remain, and now only 15 remain on that lead lap. Brian Russo, the last of which, and right now that number 3 machine holds on the back stretch. Not a lot of damage, if any. It just seems like this run has not gone to fruition for him. Down on some speed, down on pace, and he'll have to work his way back up, perhaps with strategy or perhaps with a yellow flag in the future. That, of course, remains to be seen as Jordan Kuntz keeps them all honest down in front. That time by, he gained about a tenth of a second on Michael Rosero. The more he gains, the less he'll have to worry, and Luke Peters just about out of frame. He'll be in third right now, almost a second off of the man out in front. Alec Daffin going to be in fourth, Barrett Flo going to be in fifth, and Eric Heater putting on the heat himself. He's going to be in sixth. And while he has not been able to gain on Barrett Flo, he's getting closer and closer. That time by, only 12 1,000ths of a second slower. Lucas Lyons going to be in eighth, Carter Casey going to be in ninth, and Timothy Peters rounds out your top 10 with Garrett Veton there in 11th as Peters slowly but surely gaining in on Carter Casey. Now trying to get himself into single digits on debut. Not a bad debut at all so far, but Peters goes down to the inside line to make one more spot, and that he'll be able to do quite easily if Carter Casey does not give him much more of a battle here on the high side. The low line's been dominant, and so far the dominating line continues to put on a great show. It prevails once again, and now the 83 gets it done on the one. out in front once more. You would see it's going to be side by side between AlecDaffin and Luke Peters. Up to the high side, Luke Peters goes. AlecDaffin trying to steal the show, keeping himself in that third spot. It looks like he'll be able to maintain it for now. Will he be able to maintain it overall? Of course, it is not a guarantee, as he has a lot of competition in the field he does not want to worry about right now. Worrying big about Luke Peters, but Peters on the wall, and that's going to end that effort. Maybe, maybe not, as he keeps it on the track, on the pedal, and despite a bit of contact there, Luke Peters is still battling hard, but that time around, AlecDaffin gets clearance and goes right back in front. And Eric Heater going to be out in the 6th spot once again as these drivers continue to put laps in right now, clocking them down until the next pit stop. It seems like we'll be able to go all the way from green to green for the remainder of this event, as no driver at the moment is in jeopardy of spinning one another out. It would be all down to drivers' individual control at Charlotte. While it is a bit of a challenging track with multiple drivers on the circuit, one of those tracks that is very simple in its design. A very simple design indeed for all these drivers to master, and so far it's been mastery for the Double Zero machine. Nobody better than him, as he holds on with a Michael Rosero machine right behind him. 0.2 of a second. That gap has been stagnant for about 10 or 15 laps from this point. And with Jordan Kuntz right there, take a look inside the Michael Rosero cockpit and see how it is, battling with a man out in front. As you would know, Michael Rosero, a competitive driver, 2 wins on the season, looking to go for number 3 here at Charlotte. He's just going to have to take it up a notch. Let's see what he's doing already. And in the direct toe of Jordan Kuntz, Michael Rosero is riding aboard the man in that 2nd spot. Time after time, he's getting in the wake of the Double Zero, but just not able to make anything of it. It's one thing to catch someone, and Michael Rosero has absolutely been on the back bumper for about 20 laps now, but it's another to pass, and so far in this 30-lap run, he's not been able to do just that. The most important aspect to winning a race is getting that pass for the lead, unless you start from pole and go all the way from there. But Rosero not with that opportunity. Of course, the man who got that opportunity now in 10th and Carter Casey, but he is continuing to track him down and put more time in, finding that optimal line. That time by, he does gain about 0.5 of a second. Not too much, but baby steps toward the overall goal of victory. 69 laps in, a very nice run for Jordan Kuntz so far, as it's going to be the top 2 drivers far out in front of AlecDaffin. Your race's sponsor, Daffin, in the Shaw Racing number 48 machine, keeps everyone in tow of him, as he has the remainder of the field in, of course, his fingertips. Luke Peters going to be in 4th right now with big pressure from Barrett Flow, and you can see damage is accumulating on that number 4 machine as Barrett Flow goes just to the high side of him, fakes it, and goes right down low, and Luke Peters has that damage to the right side that's going to deter him aerodynamically, and now going to be using dynamic lanes, goes high, then goes low, and now Barrett Flow, we're going to get it done here for that 4th spot. Does he get it done? Not just yet. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway. And down the back, Barrett Flow has a big surge of momentum and a great run for him. How about this standout performance for the 93 machine? One of his first races in this league, his first here at Charlotte, and one of the better races put on by any driver this season, let alone in one of the longest events we have, 200 miles here in, of course, the 1.5 mile circuit in Concord, North Carolina. And one driver going down the pit road this time by is going to be Carter Casey. Michael Deitch there as well, and 32 laps seems to be the limit for some, as Robert King comes in at the same time. That's going to be the 85 machine. No, it's going to be Nicholas Smith this time around, and Smith in the 86 makes it so. Carter Casey going to be there on pit road, getting out. He has some damage though, and Nicholas Smith right there with Michael Deitch. Deitch going to be the first man off pit road, as with 34 laps on the cycle for your race leaders, they might have to contemplate when they come in and where they choose to come in, as big time tension between the top 2 drivers is still there. Cody Webster that time by going to come in from the top 10. He'll be in 10th as is, and it looks like he's going to tow all the way in and might have lost some fuel on that run into pit road, and that's going to be his night when it comes to winning opportunity if we go all the way green from here. Towing it with this little time on the board, 72 laps in out of 134. The cross flags wave this time by, and now we're at that halfway mark, and just a bit further than that, as a matter of fact, 72 with 62 remaining. And as we say that, these guys are going into the crunch time of this race. You got to think about your strategy and make it all perfect. Every driver has gotten so dispersed, and very few drivers from the original starting grid are still here, so that all leads to you having to be absolutely perfect and a stellar qualifying performance, a stellar early race does mean nothing. It means all for naught, to say the least, as tire strategy is much more important. And you can see now Michael Deitch coming up on the leaders like a bullet, and while he does not get the pass on that time by, you can see that Deitch now has commanding speed with the leaders, something that we have not seen from him all night long. So goes down to the inside line, and Jordan Coots goes down to the inside line as well, dedicating himself down to pit road. No, he blocks Michael Deitch, and Michael Rosero goes up high. The battle for the lead goes on, and now the 00 chooses to come down to pit road. It looks like that time by, he does not just yet, but that he does. He's going to go in. Michael Deitch spins, and he's going to collect AlecDaffin. Yellow flag is out, and AlecDaffin from the lead wrecks as Michael Deitch goes around right in front of him. Unbelievable. And with 61 laps to go, he just became the leader, and he gets taken out just like that. AlecDaffin, a heartbreaker, and we'll take a look here. As you could see, he was catching up to those in front. He was going to become the effective leader as the top two come into pit road. And then Michael Deitch spins, and he has no choice. He has no opportunity to move. And that might just be it. Heartbreaker for AlecDaffin. He's on pit road as is. Barrett Flo is your effective leader. But the number 48 machine sees everything go down the drain in one swift motion. AlecDaffin on pit road as is. And contact with Michael Deitch brings to an end a great run for Daffin, and the moment he became the race leader, he gets wrecked as soon as pit cycle is brought to an end with 60 laps remaining here in Charlotte. Let's go down pit road with Barrett Flo this time by, as it looks like a few drivers staying out, including Eric Heater, Lucas Lyons, Garrett Veaton, and Brian Russo. One motor is blowing though, and that appears to be a lap machine, and it is going to be one of them. That's going to be Carter Casey now, as Casey is in big trouble, and we'll find out why. It seems he got involved with his own incident, and we will try to take a look back and see what caused that. Number one machine going to be on his own here right before the yellow flag, but it seems like he went all the way out of control. And down the back, nobody there with him, so I'm not sure if he just loses the engine due to accumulated damage, and that might be the case. He comes down to pit road this time by. No, he does not see AlecDaffin, and he hits nothing. Now, we'll take a quick look back for the viewers to take a look at that, but this would not have happened in real life. You can see when AlecDaffin despawned from racing circuit. We'll take a better look at it from AlecDaffin being on the track. And you can see Daffin's there. Keep an eye on where AlecDaffin is on your screen right now. And then we'll play it. And he makes contact with the invisible figure of AlecDaffin's physics module. And that is going to kill Carter Casey's race. That is about the biggest netcode we've seen on this channel in quite a long while. Carter Casey hits nothing, and that's his night. And I don't think that can be blamed on any driver, neither AlecDaffin or Carter Casey there. That is nothing you would see in the real world. Carter Casey made the move to avoid AlecDaffin. AlecDaffin despawned for the track, and the number one machine is done. His motor is blowing, and it will expire if he doesn't make it down pit road any quicker. And now it's 76 laps on the board here. 59 laps to go. It becomes even more of anyone's game as it all gets reset, and the AlecDaffin48 at Charlotte sees more competitors fall down to the wayside. Daffin on pit road, Deitch on pit road, Robert King there, and Cody Webster coming down perhaps one final time, and that leaves 10 drivers on the lead lap here in Charlotte, and every other driver has terminal damage. Casey, his motor's blowing. Sam Benson actually looks to be able to get back on the lead lap next time by. He'll be 11th on the board. And then Michael Deitch gets major damage in that wreck. AlecDaffin, he's going to be basically done when it comes to winning chances. Robert King, major damage on the sides. And Cody Webster, he's been on pit road for 5 minutes here. An awful lot of the required damage. He's been laps down. He got down on pit road during the green, so he's had some major damage before the yellow, during the yellow, and perhaps after. And as it stands, 11 drivers in the pack on your screen. Out of the 28 that started, this has been one race of attrition to remember. And it seems that regardless of where we see Charlotte in any league, it becomes a very, very challenging race to endure for any driver. So far, Jordan Kuntz has been the perfect man to do it, and very few drivers have been able to catch up to him. Michael Rosero has been right by him all night long, but the number 28 machine is there in tow for the first time for his sake. Eric Heater, the number 28 machine, has had a great run going in that top 5. He's been close to the podium drivers, falling off more in the later segment of the run, but starting in second this time around, he might just be able to make a redemption arc of his own. And as they go side by side, once again, Eric Heater now going to be side by side with, I believe, 1 lap to green. Jordan Kuntz going to be top man on the board with 57 more to do it, as we still wait to get this one on its way. And every lap machine, including Timothy Peters there, going to be able to get one back. It's going to be Sam Benson getting back on the lead lap, I believe, as Carter Casey gets himself into motion. It's going to be Robert King there in 13th. And no, Sam Benson is not going to be on the lead lap. He gets 1 lap back. He was 2 down beforehand, and he will be 1 lap down as is. So if we go the remainder of the way green, 10 drivers on the lead lap here, and these guys have been struggling for everything that they've had all night long. It has been one challenge for every driver. Jordan Kuntz, however, has made it look easy. 57 laps to go. We'll see whether or not he's able to continue making it look easy here in Charlotte. The AlecDaffin48 200 has been led by him and mostly him. However, Rosero has gotten a few lead laps in of his own, and he might be able to challenge once again for the taking. Let's see if he does have that in store. 57 laps to do it. Eric Heater going to be in second. Michael Rosero going to be there in third. And Lucas Lyons going to be in fourth. Barrett Flo fifth. Brian Russo sixth. Nicholas Smith going to be in second. Timothy Peters going to be in eighth, with Luke Peters in ninth and Derek Veeden in 10th. And those are your 10 drivers on the lead lap. Let's get right back into it once again. Green flags out, and Jordan Kuntz leads Eric Heater back down to the green. And now it's going to be a lot more contention up in front. These drivers on the lead lap know that this is their only shot, as Rosero now has a big boost of momentum. He's got the number 10 machine of Lucas Lyons right there with him. Lyons falls off just a bit. Eric Heater going to stay down on the inside line, make something happen with the number 00 machine. And it's going to be Toyota with the Ford, and a Ford on his own to the high side. The Chevy's going to come back up with Brian Russo there. And now it's going to be a pack of 6 out in front. The remainder of the field falling back big as they're side by side. The 41 and the 00R. Eric Heater going to be there in third. Lucas Lyons going to be in fourth. And Brian Russo now going to be in the top 5, as it seems like the top 3 are where all the action is at. The 41 going to be side by side once again. And now it's going to be Michael Daichi retires. There's going to be another retiree on the night. That will leave us with 16 drivers in this event, as the remainder of the field has disconnected. Jordan Kuntz on the inside line, but Michael Rosero has that edge this time around. Does he make it clear? No, he does not. Kuntz goes down to the inside line once again. Tries to make it stick. Will he make it so? It looks like he makes it close. No cigar just yet. The 41 machine going to be out in front, and he's the 00 right there with him, as Eric Heater now gives him a shove down the back. An arrow push going to be major with very little time on the agenda here, and with this time going down by the wayside. It's side by side there for a second. Eric Heater has the edge, and Jordan Kuntz, the oh-so dominant force all night long, beginning to see that truck fade, and Rosero might be able to get win number 3 on the season. Michael Rosero's had a great string of races, and he's back out there once again. Eric Heater going to be there in second. It's going to be Jordan Kuntz in third, as Heater blinks out on your screen for just a moment. Brian Russo going to be in fourth, and Barrett Flo is there in fifth. Your top 10 are separated by 6 seconds now. It's going to be Nicholas Smith, the final of which on that lead lap. Sam Benson going to be 1 lap down. Carter Casey going to be right there with him. And then Robert King going to be in 13th, 3 down. Alec Daffin 9 laps down with Cody Webster on pit road. As it stands, the leaders fly right by him with 52 down to do it. And it's going to be the 41 machine who's done it well all night long. But Jordan Kuntz, the one who's done it the best, is now down to third. And it looks like as the night gone on, it's going to be changing conditions, changing temperatures, and a change of your leader. The 00 and Jordan Kuntz now going to be in major trouble, as 83 in out of 134. They continue to fly by the stands, and they are packed, as the virtual grandstands have a great attendance, and we hope you enjoying the show as well. The number 41 machine of Eric Heater is not there. It's getting number 41 of Rosero with the 28 of Eric Heater, as Jordan Kuntz keeps them all on as in third now. And with Jordan Kuntz falling back, he's in a new position in the race, and that is third. And we say that, of course, it's been a long while since we've seen him outside that top 3, but we also say it because it means he'll be on the offense, not only with the man out in front in Michael Rosero, but the man in that number 28 in Eric Heater blinking just a bit. We saw a bit of a netcode error beforehand between Alec Daffin and Carter Casey that ended Casey's night, ended Daffin's night. A chance for the win. Both of them going to be out of it. However, Carter Casey is back on the track, lets them all by once again. He goes 2 laps down, not going to be in major trouble. He will be able to let them all slide by. It's going to be a nice and easy run. The 41 keeps it in just for fun. Eric Heater keeps them honest, however, and now honesty, it's going to be the best honesty for Brian Russo. Russo makes it up at the 4th. Great run for him with 50 laps to go on the board, make it less than that now, 49 to go, and it's going to be the AlecDaffin 200 winding down with a Michael Rosero machine there in front. Take a look at the remainder of the field. It's going to be Luke Peters fighting hard to keep it intact. Nicholas Smith going to see that it looks like one driver lost a lot of time there. Was it Carter Casey? It looks like it was. He went down to the apron there, keeps it going, however, and we look back out in front once again. Eric Heater going to be side by side with Jordan Kuntz. It is frantic here in Charlotte, and they're getting closer and closer every single lap. Take a look on board with the man in that number 41, and the battle right behind him will be evident. And now this battle in second is exactly what your leader wants to see. Michael Rosero has a dream view in his rear view mirror. 2 drivers impacting one another time after time, and they will continue to go at each other until it's all over, and the checkered flag will fall in just 48 laps time. So Rosero, seeing these guys begin to slide away from him, it's a great sight to see, and it makes it that much better for anyone who's out in front, let alone a driver as skilled as Michael Rosero, using everything to his advantage. If you slip up, I'm almost certain that Michael Rosero will catch you there, and he's catching them all tonight so far. He's out in front with great pace down. The number 41 has them all honest, and it is going to be him out in front with Jordan Kuntz in second and Eric Heater in third. Brian Russo goes down to the inside line. Going to think better of making a very late lunge, but he does make it down there, and he's going to stick it to the number 28 machine, showing, hey, I'm here, and you will have to keep an eye out for me as the night goes on, as it's going to be side by side, not yet between Barrett Flo and Brian Russo, but now Flo looking to get himself right back into it. Barrett Flo having an incredible night on his own, and a great show for him, and it has been one hell of a ride. He was up there in the top 4, now has a lot of different drivers in the top 5, and Flo, one of the mainstays in tonight's showcase, up in front. A race of attrition, and he's been able to hold on to it better than just about anyone. These top 5 guys might have that perfect pace, but Barrett Flo learning time after time how to get better and better and better. He's not far off the leader's pace time after time now, and he might be one of the forces to reckon with as we get into the very late section of this event. With 45 laps to go here in Charlotte, the number 41 machine going to be able to hold on with Jordan Kuntz in second. Eric Heater makes it so in third. Brian Russo going to be in fourth. And it looks like one man goes down to pit road that time by, and that's going to be Robert King, not on frame. AlecDaffin is still there, and Robert King takes it down. He's in 13th as is. We'll see whether or not he parks it for the night as the number 41 machine holds on strong. He's out in front by a tenth of a second, 90 laps in out of 134. Make that 91 that time around. The number 28 machine now fading back further and further as Robert King comes down to pit road for additional service. These drivers will have to pit at least one more time on the night. They're 16 laps in to a run that can go as high as about 35 laps. So if they are to pit one more time, it will be in about the lap number 30 range. 30, 29, 28. Keep an eye out for pit stops at that marker as we still see the number 41 machine out in front with very little concern for anything else so far. The number 00 machine going to be in second still, and Jordan Kuntz, with now very little competition behind him, directly behind him to say the least, is beginning to close in on the 41 once again. 17 laps into this one, and it's going to be 17 laps into this stint indeed. Going to be a bit of a wiggle there. The 41 machine holds on, but Michael Rosero now knows that Jordan Kuntz has one intention, and that is indeed to pass, and pass quick, as now Rosero going to have to put it on the rush once again. The 00 machine keeps it right there in tow. Barrett Flo, though, now sees he's got a lap machine to deal with. It's going to be Carter Casey. Casey lets the leaders by, and it's going to be a bit of a tumultuous cycle, but he does let them all by nice and easy, and that is, of course, what you love to see. Barrett Flo getting right there in tow. Luke Peters going to be in position number 6. Lucas Lyons going to be in 7th, and Garrett Veaton going to be in 8th now, as Timothy Peters holds on in 9th, and Now, Nicholas Smith, the next man to be in jeopardy of being put a lap down. He's 10th on the board. He's 18 seconds off your leader as Michael Rosero comes across the line this time by. This will be yet another in the books to make it 41 laps to go for the man in the 41. Leads him down to that marker. A great thing to see as he keeps them going with very little time on the clock. And time is of the essence here in the Stock Car Racing League. The AlecDaffin48 200 has gone down to the wire. Side by side, they're not just yet, but you can see it has been one hell of an endurance race for the drivers up in front. You have to continue to push yourself to wits end time after time after time, and that push for perfection. It is clear to see that no driver is pushing harder than the man out in front as he continues to chase the perfect dream. Eric Hueter there in third. It's going to be Ryan Russo there in fourth, Barrett Flo going to be in fifth, and Luke Peters going to be in position number 6 with Garrett Veaton there in 7. Lucas Lyons going to make it so in position number 8, and Timothy Peters going to be in 9th here as Nicholas Smith gets himself closer and closer to one driver, but still falling back further. He's now 20 seconds off of your race leader. 40 laps to go here in Charlotte, and we are getting down on a nitty-gritty here. These leaders getting closer and closer to the checkered flag, and they're most importantly closer to the final segment of this run to their final pit stop. And when it all comes down to it, finality is getting closer and closer to confirmation as the number 41 machine holds on with Jordan Coons. Eric Hueter going to be right there in third. Barrett Flo going to be in fourth. Now Garrett Veaton is going to be right there with Luke Peters, and Peters getting more and more time around. Garrett Veaton that time by, though, was a bit quicker, and now the man in that number 6 spot has a bit more pace. He has younger tires. That might be a bit of an undercut that he puts on the remainder of the field, and it could work in his favor and perhaps get him out in the top 5. He's currently in 6th, so not far off as is, but he might want to go for just a bit more at the tail end of the night. Top 2 drivers separated by 1/10 of a second. They are the closest battle on this racing circuit. Jordan Coons going to be there in second. Nonetheless, Michael Rosero is still your race leader. Eric Hueter putting the heat on in third, and Brian Russo makes it so in fourth. Down to the inside line, though, that's going to be one lap machine, and it's Robert King in that 85 going to be able to make it happen. Down the line, he is quicker, but he's also a newer tire, so not much to be unexpected as he gets it. And now he's going to begin blocking these 2 drivers. Barrett Flo gets a big run the inside line as a result, and Brian Russo, while not happy about it, will be able to power through and keep himself out in front of Barrett Flo for the time being. Nice, respectful racing side by side. They were for a moment, and now going to be jetting on back. The number 93 machine holds on there in 5th. Brian Russo going to be there in 4th. Eric Hueter going to be in 3rd with Jordan Coons as Michael Rosero keeps them all in tandem. He's going to lead them down with 36 laps to go here in the AlecDaffin48 200 in Charlotte. One man coming off of the pit road once again. It's going to be Carter Casey. He's 3 laps down as it is, and he has an awful lot of damage. That motor blew beforehand. He's going to be down on power all night long. Last time he went around the track, he had a 36-second lap. That goes to show how slow he is. Michael Rosero ran 32.121. He has about 4 seconds off a lap. So not good at all, just trying to pick up extra points. He's 12th on the board as is. If one more driver were to retire on the night, he might come home just outside the top 10. Jordan Coons going to be in second as it is, and these drivers are going to wind it down once again. Take a look at the Barrett Flo machine, that number 93, looking to get himself into the top 4 before the pit cycle. And with only a few laps before, of course, that pit cycle comes into fruition, you want to set yourself up perfectly for it. Now, Michael Rosero and Jordan Coons went down to pit road the exact same time the last cycle, and that saw Michael Deitch go down around, and that caused a major incident with Alec Daffin getting caught up big time as soon as they went into pit road. Too little room for too many drivers at once, and that makes it that much harder to keep going in tandem. Side by side, they were not that time by, and one driver that was side by side, well, it was Sam Benson side by side with the pit wall. It's Carter Casey. More and more time goes up high to try to get a bit more momentum, but it does not appear to be working. As now the number 1 machine going to be passed by the leaders once again. An easy pass as the number 41 takes the leaders down once more, and now Robert King gaining on your leaders for the first time all night long. Robert King, as is a total of only 4 laps down. Will that be if he gets the leaders by? He's 5 laps down as is, but gaining big, and he could be able to steal that 12th spot from Carter Casey. It looks like a jeopardy for his 11th spot. Sam Benson not going to be in jeopardy, but Carter Casey will be, as now down to the inside line, Robert King goes on Jordan Kuntz. He's going to make it real hard for the leaders here, and this is going to get dicey. Gets by one. Will he get by the other? That remains to be seen with 32 laps remaining on the board. Michael Rosero going to be out in front with 32 laps remaining. It has been a great show for both your leaders, and now Robert King putting the pressure down on the two of them. How is Michael Rosero going to be able to react to this? It looks like he'll be able to take it quite nicely. However, no move's been made just yet. Down to the inside line, it will be Robert King going this time around, but still no cigar. And the gap in pace between your drivers up in front and those in the back as one driver goes into pit road. That's going to be Nicholas Smith on the undercut himself. It looks like he'll be the first man to go in on the final strategy. Now, it goes to show how fast these drivers are. Jordan Kuntz and the number 41 of Michael Rosero for a lap machine on much newer tires and not be able to pass them. It's just the skill these two have. Two of the best drivers in this series all the way up in the point standings. Continue to show why they will push themselves to wits' end for a championship win. However, now it looks like up to the high side once more. That number 85 machine goes. Robert King makes himself the king of this battle. If he's able to get it by on the high side, no, he does not. Swaps down low. Does he get it by that time by him? No, he doesn't. But he's getting closer and closer to Michael Rosero's back bumper every time of axing. And now it's going to be one man asking for more. It's going to be the man in that number 00, Jordan Kuntz. Take a look on board with the man at a 00. And this close-up shot showing you what it's like to be on that hood as they go all the way into the corner once more. Now it looks like the 85 machine gets way up high, has a big surge of momentum. They go side by side out in front, and every time that happens, it seems like the number 41 machine able to shake them off and get right by on the apex. And now Robert King looking to get that pass in session. Once again goes up high, and every time he goes up high has so much more grip in the clean air, and with the new tires that time by he might be able to get it by. Does he get it? It looks like that he almost does, but still not clear. Michael Rosero giving him a great run for his money, and he loses a lot of time there. The battle has been reset the way that Jordan Kuntz wanted it to be. Now he's only within about a tenth of a second of your race leader. And the saving grace comes in the form of hesitation through one driver and very exemplary racing conduct from another. Michael Rosero going to be able to make it happen with a nice and smooth, very patient move to keep him in that battle. Lets off with a lot of respect, knows exactly what's on the line here. He just lets the lap machine go with very little hesitation, but hesitation for the number 85 machine to make that move, as it seemed like he had an awful lot of trouble making it happen on much newer tires. And now the leader's able to chase him down. Once again, 28 laps to go as is, and Michael Rosero leads Jordan Kuntz as that time by. Brian Russo comes down to pit road. Timothy Peters exiting at the moment. Barrett Flo goes in as well. And now drivers going with the flow of their pit cycle. Michael Rosero and Jordan Kuntz will have to think of just when they do that, as the number 00 chases down the 41 with 27 down to do it. Michael Rosero trying to get by the number 85. As soon as he got past, he looks to pass him once more. And all that effort for the number 85 machine seems to be all for nothing. He loses all that time. He gets into the wall. And now it's going to be up to the 41 machine to think of his strategy. Jordan Kuntz come down to the pit road and undercut from the 00 machine. Will it work or will it not? That remains to be seen, as now the 00 comes in with Eric Heater right there. They're separated by 0.2 of a second. One incredible entrance for the number 28 machine, and now Michael Rosero has to run the laps of his life from here on out. Garrett Venus cycled up into the second spot on the board. He has not pit in 32 successive laps. We'll see whether or not he chooses to now. As it is, it seems like he's going to have to pit in a few laps time. It looks like Lucas Lyons in a similar position as well. Jordan Kuntz on pit road. Even still, Michael Rosero could have come across the stripe this time by. Garrett Venus going to see that two drivers come across that time through. It's going to be the number 41 machine still out in front. Big time on Beaton and big time on two drivers, and very notable drivers indeed. Jordan Kuntz and Eric Heater. They are more than one lap down on Michael Rosero by a wide margin, and Rosero has some breathing room in his strategy now. The longer you go on this run, the later you can get your fuel, and the less fuel you'll have to put in. That time by a masterful exit for Kuntz. He's able to slide it and able to save it and gets in at just the right speed. We'll see whether or not that causes him to have a penalty as he gets it back out to 50 miles an hour. That could be the game end for him. We'll see if that is the end game of his strategy. Garrett Veaton leads that lap at getting some bonus points the number 7 machine chooses to do on debut. Not bad at all for the man in the number 7 machine, rookie stripes and all, a race leader, and that is something to be proud of, even if it is on a pit cycle. A great way to enter this series, a race of attrition. He's put on a great show. Barrett Flo has retired from this event, it appears, so that will lead us with 9 drivers on the lead lap if we cycle back the same way. Rosero comes out, Sam Benson to the wall. He spins right in front of Rosero, no yellow, but now it's going to be a big time move in cycle. It's going to be the man in the 00 out in front. Jordan Kuntz gets it good, and he has it way out in front. Now then a Michael Rosero machine. Rosero going to be 3, 4, 5 seconds off. No, he'll only be 2 seconds off. Now he gets it back on the power, and with 23 laps to go, make that 22 this time around. The best cameras on iRacing, TrackCams22.com, bring to you the best. Crank it up. You'll see live on FTN. Let's get it uninterrupted here in Charlotte. The AlecDaffin48. It's going to go down to the wire as a 00 and Jordan Kuntz now trying to cycle up to lead. Pit cycles, pit strategy, and it is all the rage. Let's crank it up live on FTN, courtesy of Track Cams for Gormans and TrackCams22.com. And with now a total of 18 laps to go here in Charlotte, Jordan Kuntz and Eric Heater are going to have to duel this one out for a victory. Michael Rosero, as is just about 3 seconds off of your leader, falling further and further back. Of that, he has done not. That time by, he was 0.2 of a second faster than your leader and getting quicker every time of axing. So that newer set of tires might be what he needs to get it done and win this event, as he currently has just a bit of an edge in tires wear. And with 18 becoming 17 to go, gaining 1/10 of a second per lap might not be enough pace to get it done, but he certainly is faster. And it's not about, of course, your run right now. It's about the other. If Jordan Kuntz wears through these tires in, of course, a hasty decision, just trying to get it over with, might lose more and more time, and in turn send it back to a driver such as Eric Heater or Michael Rosero. As the night goes on, that could happen. And Eric Heater hoping for that as well. He's only half a second off, as it stands. We only have 8 drivers on the lead lap. Timothy Peters, the last of which he's in jeopardy of going a lap down. So it would be just about 7 drivers on the lead lap, and Luke Peters actually in jeopardy himself. So as it stands, 26 drivers, actually going to be 28 drivers who entered. 26 made the first lap, but 26, of course, made it past that point. And as it stands, only about 6 are within 20 seconds of your race leader. With 16 laps to go on the board, the race of attrition comes down to whether or not Jordan Kuntz can endure 15 now more laps on the night as he's slowly but surely winding them further and further down. Michael Rosero going to be there in 3rd, Brian Russo going to be there in 4th, and Garrett Veaton going to be in the 5th spot with Lucas Lyons. Now, as it stands, Michael Rosero has to put down the laps of his life. That time by was 0.3 of a second faster, and the 41 is getting more and more time under the sun. As the sun appears to be setting this time around, you can see the orange glow slowly but surely populating your screen, and that means track conditions, they are changing, and it could shift to the night sky before this one is all over. We will see whether or not that is the case as the night goes on. Rosero seems to become the track's master. Jordan Kuntz, however, is looking to avoid disaster. He's out in front right now. He has 7/10 up on the man in the number 4 machine, and he's got 7/10 up on the 28 in Eric Heater, as a matter of fact, getting by one more lap machine. It is now 7 men on that lead lap. Timothy Peters, the last of which in the 83, and he has the leaders charging down on him time after time. This is from the onboard perspective of the number 83 machine and Timothy Peters. And Peters makes it down to the apex once again. Jordan Kuntz only 8/10 ahead of Eric Heater right now, and one lap machine going to lose a lot of time. That's Luke Peters side by side and sliding further and further back. The number 83 machine in jeopardy with the baker's dozen remaining, and right now looking to cook something up. It's all about making it to the end. Jordan Kuntz now is a second up on Eric Heater, gaining more time on Heater but less time. It is the gap between Rosero and Jordan Kuntz down within 13/10. That's 1.3 seconds, and Rosero is now getting at just about the pace he needs to get the victory. 13/10, 12 laps to go, and it doesn't do it here in Charlotte means that Rosero has a relative chance at getting it done. That time by 0.3 of a second faster, but now he has a roadblock in his way, and that is Eric Heater holding on for second. Strategy is what this all comes down to, and with 2 dead even drivers right back at it, it seems like now the number 41 machine is getting closer and closer to Heater. That time by goes down to the inside line, gonna make it quick work. That he does, and now it's gonna be side by side, maybe not for long. Rosero gonna be able to get one done if he keeps it out in front. That he does. Rosero now in second, and Jordan Kuntz gonna be in first. 1 second, the deficit between these guys is going to be now 1.1 seconds on the top of your screen in just a moment, and these leaders are pushing each other to the wits end. And Robert King going to be down on pit road as it is, so is Carter Casey. Casey, as a matter of fact, now on the track, and it could be a top 10 for Carter Casey after substantial damage early on. The 00 leads with 10 laps to go, and 1 flat second needs to be gained by Jordan Kuntz. Of course, it needs to be gained on his end if he wants to avoid the lead being changed, and it needs to be gained on Michael Rosero's end to win this race, as it all comes down to the final segment of this show. And the number 41 machine is right there with the 00, and now they're in frame for the first time together in quite a while. And taking a look at a much wider shot, let's take it as far back as we can. That number 41 machine is now getting closer and closer. The track almost empty, except for the lap machines. They're passing. Carter Casey getting past that time by, and the number 41 sees Jordan Kuntz now only 0.8 of a second ahead with 9 laps to go. The AlecDaffin48 200 at Charlotte is coming down to this, and the number 00, after getting out on the track earlier, is losing time because those tires are wearing out faster and faster. The sun is setting, the track temperature it is getting lower, but it still seems like tire wear is a crucial factor to success and succeeding. Jordan Kuntz has for quite a while now. The number 41 machine, though, is getting closer and closer to, of course, getting on the verge of victory. 7 laps from the 120 zone. We are at lap 127 with 8 laps to go. Next time by, going to be 7 laps to go overall. And Eric Heater in that 3rd spot, now 1 second off of the man in that number 41. Now, Brian Russo going to be there in 4th. He has a lot of track to work with. He's 6 seconds up on the man in the 5th spot. That's going to be Garrett Veaton. Lucas Lyons going to be there in 6th. Timothy Peters going to be in 7th. And now gaining on the remainder of the pack in front of him, as he is not battling in the heat of the moment. But one driver in the heat lead at the moment is going to be Michael Rosero, 700th of a second between them now, and the 41 trying to pick them right up and put them right down. They're dangling keys off of one another, and they'll be battling right down to the end. 7 laps to do it. They're going to be up on the high side. Low side going to be Coots, high side Rosero, and they are looking to make it rose-tinted night. Whether or not they can come down to the victory, it is all up to them. Rosero on the high side has the lead now with 6 laps to go, and he gets it done. Could it be for the remainder of the event? That we will see. Jordan Coots will have to dig deep to get this one done. Last time we went racing at Indianapolis, Michael Rosero got it done, and now he looks to have an opportunity to get it once again. Now Jordan Coots has to think of what his backup plan is. Losing more and more time now. It might just be sealed up, but it ain't over till it's over. Only 7 drivers in the lead lap. The possibility of a caution is second, of course, to none. So the shot is very slim, but it could come down to an incident very late, and if it does, he might be able to get that, of course, brand new tire set and finish this one off strong. But now the undercut not in his favor. Losing time, almost a half a second off in 1 lap after being the leader. And the number 41 machine pulling away to what could be his 3rd win on the year. Last time he won was last week at Indy, so looking to go back-to-back at prestigious racing circuits, and this could be his once again. It's going to be now 4 laps to go for the number 41 machine. Michael Rosero getting oh so close to perfection here, as 131 laps gonna be the marker we have hit. It's gonna be the number 00 now in second. Eric Keeter gonna be in third, and Brian Russo is there in fourth. And Eric Keeter, as a matter of fact, is gaining on Jordan Coots now. Will he gain enough to make it happen, get a pass? That remains to be seen. I don't believe he has just enough to make that happen, but if he does, it would be great to see another final battle, as Keeter that time by gains about 0.2 of a second. It looks like he's sealed to that circuit, and he's all the way down to the bottom of the track, getting grip off that paint, and that's exactly what it wants to see out of that number 28 machine, the fastest moving Toyota all night long. Looking to finish this one off runner-up, as right now the fastest moving Chevy is in position number 4. 2 Fords out in front, then it's going to be that Toyota as 1 lap machine mixing it up once again. That's Robert King, and he's going to go down to the inside line, and Eric here not going to be able to make that pass happen. He goes right to the wall on his own accord, and it looks like the number 85 machine able to settle that amongst himself, and now it will be 2 laps to go here in Charlotte. It's going to be the final 3 miles for the number 41 machine. Eric Keeter now within 0.3 of a second on Jordan Coots, getting closer and closer, riding aboard with the number 28 machine. This is inside his cockpit here. You can see how much faster he is turn after turn. Take a look at turns 3 and 4 with 1 lap to go on the horizon. And that time by, he backs it off a bit of the exit, and it's going to be the exit that he gets it done on. The entrance, perfection. The exit, it's going to be even better than Jordan Coots. And now with 1 lap to go, the battle here rages on. But the number 41 machine, no battle to speak of, and one driver looking to assert himself as a championship favorite. Michael Rosero did not get the season right on, of course, the right foot, but these past 2 weeks he has come alive, winning in Indianapolis, the 2.5-mile circuit there, and in the 200-mile event, the AlecDaffin48 200. He has 2 more turns to settle it straight and get it done back to back. The Blue O was going to victory lane here in the home of NASCAR. It's going to be victory once again. Win number 3, Michael Rosero gets it done in the 41 here in Charlotte, and he goes back to back in win number the 8th round of the season. The 8th round's his, the 7th round was as well, and he's ready to tear this one apart as he gets it done once more, this time in the Carolinas. And already celebrating this one, Michael Rosero is burning it down. We'll get your race results on your screen before we see the entirety of this burnout. A beautiful camera angle there. As you can see the celebration, he could not hesitate this one, as Michael Rosero, one of only 7 drivers to finish on the lead lap here tonight. And what a race that was for the man in the 41. No one better, as Michael Rosero wins from 3rd on the grid with Jordan Coots there in 2nd. Started 2nd and finished 2nd, 2 seconds off. Eric Keeter not able to complete that pass at the tail, and he finishes in 3rd. Brian Russo comes home in 4th for the bow ties, as Garrett Vinton finishes on the top 5 on debut at Lucas Lyons in 6th, and Timothy Peters in 7th. The debutant belt, 5th, 6th, and 7th. A great run for all 3 of which. Luke Peters, the first man to retire in between this board. He's 8th on the board, 1 lap down. Nicholas Smith, 1 lap down to finish out your top 10. Robert King there in 10th. 11th going to be Carter Casey. 12th going to be Sam Benson. Barrett Flo going to be 13th. Cody Webster going to be in position number 14. Alec Daffin, Heartbreak, round down his top 15 finish here tonight. Michael Deitch going to finish in 16th. Davis Lewis is 17th with Vinny Tigner in the 18th spot. And Talon Drake there in position number 19. Connor James rounds out your top 20, almost 100 laps down with Corey Rexford in 21st. Cody McCorkle 22nd and Jordan Parker 23rd. Rick Spencer Walt going to be in position number 24 and Brendan Timon going to be 25th with Joaquin Stewart 26th and Joaquin 129 laps down. Christian Mullen 27th, 133 laps down, and William Schmidt last on the field, 134 down. Stick around for interviews as this man gets ready to burn down the house. Michael Rosero, back-to-back wins here in the birthplace of NASCAR racing. And as the motor has blown, Michael Rosero is certainly going to be celebrating this one for a long time after the track state is clear. The number 41 machine gets it done. That was his burnout. Now let's rewind the tape and get him in here for an interview. How about that for the 41 machine coming out on top? Back-to-back weeks. Charlotte treats you well, and you come home on top through strategy, winning the AlecDaffin48 200 at Charlotte. How do you feel after this one?
I feel pretty darn good, even winning 2 in a row. I mean, I wasn't really expecting to win today, but we had the perfect strategy on that final run, and it just we overall had great pace in that second run, where I was in front of Coons the whole time, and we just saved tires like really good. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
Especially like absolutely stuff began to click. My apologies. Keep going.
Very good. No, you're good. I'm done.
Well, it seems like things began to click on that second run. We'd love to ask you about that because it seems like Jordan Coons had that first run all covered up, but you came alive at that second one. So what was the point there that you made to sort of change it all up? Because it seems like from there on out, you just had him beat.
Well, really, I was just, that first run, if anything, I was just analyzing like what Coons was doing and what mistakes and what line he was running and learning from that and then using that to my advantage. And then it really paid off the second run, because we were definitely really fast, and he was really driving it straight off the corner, which where he's like almost in the wall coming off the corner. So I basically just tried copying him, and it honestly worked. I just tried driving his line, and then that made me way faster. So yeah.
And it seems like great drivers race alike, taking a lot from Jordan Coons on that second run. Now, the big thing you took, 4 tires of Goodyear rubber, and that's what got you all the way. Seems like it came behind the drivers up in front, and Jordan Coons and Eric Heater, but you were able to battle back quite nicely and get it done with only about 6 laps to go. So how was it charging back on the leaders of the field?
Yeah, it was a little bit stressful, but I knew I was going to get Coons, so within if he didn't hit the wall, I was probably going to get him with 2 to go. I don't know. It would have been really close, but since he hit the wall, I got by him before it was 5 to go. So, but yeah, I was also in the same scenario in another league where I overcut the driver by 2 laps, and they take right sides, and then we just had the advantage. That was basically the same thing that happened here tonight. So, yeah, I was pretty calm, to be honest. I wasn't that stressed. But yeah.
And coming out on top 2 straight weeks in a row. How about that? And the next time we go racing, going to be yet again a much different track. The ever versatile Michael Rosero, well, third track on the agenda here in this winning streak. It might just be Gateway. 120 laps there. Do you think you'll be able to keep this one going?
Maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot harder now since I'm guessing Lane Grace is probably gonna race next week. But anyways, I'm pretty excited for Gateway. I mean, it's not really my strongest track, but we'll see what we can do there.
And that we will see. Michael Rosero comes on top of the board once again. First at Indianapolis, here in Charlotte once more. How about that? Back-to-back wins. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys do an amazing job on the Fireball Talks YouTube channel. And I'd like to personally thank Eric Heater for letting me by. I mean, that honestly helped me win the race, if I'm going to be honest. Though. And I want to thank all my teammates that helped me out. Peters, Heater, Talon, who else? I think that's it.
And there we have it yet again at the top of the board. Michael Rosero gets it done in the AlecDaffin 200 at Charlotte. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
And there we go. AlecDaffin48 200, a winner. Back-to-back Michael Rosero is, but the man who's been out in front all season long, Jordan Kuntz, with yet again another solid finish. Second night here in Charlotte, and it all came down to strategy. So how did you execute upon the night's events?
Well, I think I had a really good strategy to get way too conservative into pit road and then just made a simple mistake exiting 4 that cost me the win. Could have easily have had it, but just gave Rosero a third win.
And it appears that that tire strategy was all that it came down to. So can you walk us through that final segment? Because that was the be-all, end-all for anyone's strategy in the remainder of the race.
I had to try to stay with Rosero, not burn my tires, and then just try to get a slight undercut, but unfortunately my inexperience getting into pit road cost me the win, and my mistake at the end with the turn 4 wall.
Either way, regardless of some of the mistakes very late in the going, a great race for your camp here, leading an awful lot of laps. So what was your key success here in Charlotte? Because you had it locked down from the very beginning.
Well, I know this track really well. I've been to it in real life, and I think that definitely played a part in it, but it just works for me. Turn 1 and 2, really nice flowing corner, and 3 and 4 really hard, but very fun corner whenever you get it right.
And you're able to get it quite right quite often. Now, next race on the schedule going to be quite a different circuit. That's going to be Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway for 120 laps. How's it going to be going into that 1 mile circuit?
We're definitely going to need a lot more practice. A track that I definitely have not raced a lot, and probably a lot of other people haven't as well, so probably going to be even going in there, just about the amount of practice and how quick everyone can get up to speed.
And that we will see going to be a big time practice necessary for a lot of drivers. Jordan Kuntz, however, did not need it tonight. Able to come home on, of course, the podium here, second position. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Nitro for all their great setups and everybody who was in the boys chat with, and yeah, just Proximity Racing for all the help throughout the weeks. And yeah, should have won, but try to go out there and get a second place or better next week.
And there we have it, going again to get some more solid results. Jordan Kuntz, solid as always. Podium here, second night here, once more in Charlotte. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And one more driver on the podium. That's going to be the man in the number 28 machine. Now, Eric Heater carrying the banner for Toyota all night long. Third place here in the AlphaTauri number 28. What kept you up there at the tail end of it?
At the beginning of the race, I tapped the wall, got a lot of damage. So once we got the caution, I went ahead and just took that. And I was able to get through the field a lot faster than I was expecting. And right at the end of that run, I was right up into 6th place. So I was just kind of able to move forward from that. Got a bit lucky with the track position at the end. I'm not really sure. I think it was Alex, so that helped as well. And moving me up forward, I don't know. I didn't really have the pace of Michael or Jordan, so I knew I was probably just going to have to settle for the 3rd place there. Once I saw that Jordan hit the wall, I was pushing like a madman to try to get up to him, and sent it one last time in 3 and 4, but didn't have enough. I knew it wasn't really going to be there. You can't really pass on the inside like this track, so I'm happy with the run. That's where I should have finished.
And it seems like a race of attrition going in your favor. Now, tire strategy was the name of the game here in Charlotte. How do you manage that all night long?
Yeah, I was pretty straightforward. It was just push the entire way. It wasn't really much tire management at all. There were a few guys who would kind of find a way to make more pace out of it and then fall back after a few laps. But honestly, I don't know what they were doing. And Michael and Jordan weren't really doing that either. They were just like slightly faster in the long run overall. Just getting those hundredths per lap, it's really small difference. So I don't know what those guys were doing, but it killed their tires. I couldn't find that speed to get into that range. So I don't know.
Nonetheless, very close to getting up to the top two on the end of the day. Third here in Charlotte, and the next time we go racing, going to be Worldwide Technology Raceway. Gateway going to be a much different track compared to the mile and a half, such as Charlotte. How are you going to be preparing for that one?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really raced at that track that much, so I'll take it when we get there, I guess.
And that we will see now. Eric Heater round to the podium here in the AlecDaffin48 200 here in Charlotte. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, first I'd like to apologize to Carter Casey. I completely misjudged it. I thought it was a bad block on his end, but I just overreacted. So apologies to them. That's all I can say.
And there we have it. Eric Heater nonetheless gets it done. A final spot on the podium here in Charlotte, round 8 of the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series season. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we go. Your final man on the podium is Eric Heater, but the man who comes on the top of the board is who else but Michael Rosero. Getting it done in the 8th round of the season. We'll be back next Saturday night with Gateway, and it's going to be an exciting race. That is for certain. Gotta thank you all for watching here tonight. Been a great show put on. The next time we go live will be tomorrow, but next time iRacing goes on the FTN YouTube channel, well, that will be the Integrity Ignite series. Keep a watch out for that. Always a great show put on from them, and I believe this time by we'll be racing in the Nürburgring GP circuit, so keep an eye out Monday night at 8:50, and of course 8 Eastern Saturday night. You know where you want to be here watching live on FTN, the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series. Got to thank you all once again for watching. This has been the AlecDaffin48 200 at Charlotte, and we thank you all for your time. Arch Emperor, Fisher Studios, Godsec, Cameron Racing, and of course everyone else who comes in to watch. As much as we can say thank you, we'd love to thank you all once more, and we hope you have a great night. This has been the AlecDaffin48 200 at Charlotte in the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series, a Fireball Talks NASCAR production.